Psalm 6 is a prayer of David in times of distress and anguish, expressing his plea for God's mercy and healing. David begins by appealing to God not to rebuke him in his anger or discipline him in his wrath. He acknowledges his own weakness and vulnerability, recognizing the depth of his suffering and the severity of his affliction. David begs for God's compassion and forgiveness, asking him to be gracious and deliver him from his distress. The psalmist describes the intensity of his physical and emotional anguish, expressing his despair and longing for relief. He cries out to God, pleading for mercy and healing, recognizing that only God has the power to save him from the depths of his affliction. David's prayer is raw and heartfelt, reflecting his deep dependence on God's grace and his desperate need for deliverance. Despite his suffering, David maintains his trust in God's faithfulness and steadfast love. He appeals to God's reputation for compassion and mercy, asking him to save him for the sake of his own name. David expresses his confidence that God hears his cries and will answer his prayers, delivering him from his enemies and restoring him to health. In the final verses, David declares his faith in God's deliverance and praises him for his salvation. He expresses his confidence that his enemies will be put to shame and confounded, while he will rejoice in God's salvation. David's prayer in Psalm 6 serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of turning to God in times of trouble, trusting in His mercy and finding hope in His deliverance. Let's now read Psalms chapter 6. To the chief musician on Negeoth upon Sheminith, a psalm of David. O Lord, rebuke me not in thine anger, neither chasten me in thy hot displeasure. Have mercy upon me, O Lord, for I am weak. O Lord, heal me, for my bones are vexed. My soul is also sore vexed, but thou, O Lord, how long? Return, O Lord, deliver my soul, O save me for thy mercy's sake. For in death there is no remembrance of thee, in the grave who shall give thee thanks? I am weary with my groaning, all the night make I my bed to swim, I water my couch with my tears. Mine eye is consumed because of grief, it waxeth old because of all mine enemies. Depart from me, all ye workers of iniquity, for the Lord hath heard the voice of my weeping. The Lord hath heard my supplication, the Lord will receive my prayer. Let all mine enemies be ashamed and sore vexed, let them return and be ashamed suddenly. This ends our reading of Psalms chapter 6.